Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good. Tonight, of course, like clockwork, like we do every week, we're going to be hanging out for a couple of hours and we are going to be chatting about a bunch of different things that have happened over the past week. Now, I will admit, as we are getting closer to the launch of Amazon's bullshit Rings of Power series, there has been a lot of Rings of Power news, and I've been covering it because whenever a topic like this comes up, you guys have been sending it to me in mass, being like, you need to cover this. So there is a lot of Rings of Power news tonight, but I'm sure that you guys are fine with that. We have some Ezra Miller news. Yikes. Lots of controversy. We've got She-Hulk, we've got Netflix, so sorry if you hear anything being knocked over. Kitten is to the right, climbing on my PlayStation 5. So, tonight we're going to be talking about Netflix and not Netflix numbers or subscribers or bad series they're putting out. We're actually talking about Netflix gaming. I know that I covered this a few weeks ago. Actually, I guess it was kind of a few months ago at this point, probably like 2 months ago, when Netflix announced that they were going to be putting out like Netflix gaming. Basically, on the Netflix mobile app, you were going to be able to access some like new exclusive games they were making. Apparently, they were making a Queen's Gambit game, which is literally just chess with the characters from the series. They were going to be putting out just like a couple of various mobile type games on their application, on the mobile app, and apparently, according to new data, less than 1% of subscribers are playing their titles. And I'm gonna be honest, when I talked about this a few months ago, I knew that they were creating this. I didn't know they had already released it. I didn't know that they already put out a couple of games onto it. And I'm a gaming YouTuber, right? If I don't hear about it, how the fuck are you guys gonna hear about it? It wasn't advertised at all. But apparently less than 1% of their subscribers are playing their games, which of course is just very funny to me. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about Ezra Miller. Boy, oh boy. Last week, we heard that apparently Warner Brothers was considering 3 options. Option 1 was to have Ezra publicly apologize, come out and say, I'm sorry for my behavior, I'm gonna do better in the future, and just try to be a genuinely better person. Option 2 was they were going to have Ezra not be part of the marketing for The Flash at all whatsoever. And option 3 was they were going to fire Ezra Miller. But of course, honk honk, they have decided to go for option number 1 because Ezra Miller came out, apologized, said that they have complex mental health issues. Really took a scientist to figure that one out. And they have claimed to have begun ongoing treatment. And I've talked about the Ezra Miller situation a lot here on the channel. I have said for months at this point that Ezra Miller clearly needs help. But the problem is that you can't help people that don't want to be helped. And it didn't seem like Ezra wanted to be helped, but apparently Ezra feels that their career is probably in hot water, so they have decided to apologize, say that they are going to begin ongoing treatment, and for a celebrity who clearly doesn't like to follow rules and respect people and actually follow through with the things they say, Ezra Miller is probably going to go to ongoing treatment for the next 2.5 weeks and then drop out of it, and we'll never hear about it because it doesn't matter. They've already made their statement. So, we are also going to be talking about She-Hulk and how the director has hopes the Disney Plus series makes it normal to have female superheroes. Because surely, guys, we have not seen female superheroes. Right? Female superheroes. Those are like the things of legends. We haven't seen any of those. It's not like multiple female superheroes have their own movies or TV series like WandaVision, Black Widow. I mean, and also if we're going to other superheroes, because they just say female superheroes, you know, Wonder Woman. No. Female superheroes surely do not have enough representation on screen. Even though they've forgotten, their series' own advertising treats her gender as a novelty, and as, of course, a woman who likes female superheroes, watches female superhero content, I think that it is absurd that they are going on and on about, we have to normalize female superheroes. But before we get into the last few topics, thank you, Raj, for the $1.99 super chat, and thank you, Poet Boy, for the 11 months as a Bronze Titan. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Ongoing treatment, sure. I have said for months at this point that it did seem that Ezra needed help, right? And I don't want to, you know, make fun of people who are struggling, because everybody struggles. I struggled. Most of us in chat have probably struggled, right? It's hard to be a human being, right? But the problem is that Ezra Miller is running around doing crazy shit, villain arc storyline stuff, and they feel they just have to apologize and everything's gonna be fine, which is absurd. Also, Daniel, thank you for the 11 months membership as a Bronze Titan. I would support the concept if they were not replacing the male superheroes. I mean, I think that having female superheroes is fine, but right, the problem is that they're taking male superheroes and just getting rid of, like, male superheroes and making way for the female counterparts so that they can go, look, we can do diversity, inclusivity. Oh, look, we're normalizing female superheroes, even though female superheroes have been normalized. People have been used to female superheroes for years now. It's not like some new thing. And the other topics we are going to discuss are going to be about the Rings of Power. I'm going to save the Rings of Power discussion as the final topic just because there are a few different articles I want to reference. But the first is going to be one I'm going to do a video on tomorrow. Predictably, the Lord of the Rings of Power's executive producer has called critics racist. Just a few days ago, yesterday, I made a video on how the Galadriel actress Morfydd Clark had came out and said, you know what, if you're treating my black co-workers like shit, the other actors that are part of this series just because they're people of color like trash, you are a trash human being. She basically said shut the F up, and she basically told people to get off of the internet and go away. And like clockwork, of course, now we're seeing other people that are part of the project do the same exact things, because now the executive producer, who has made iffy statements in the past, they've come forward and now basically called critics ists. And I do have the original kind of article up because the Times article does talk a little bit more about it and, you know, some of the backlash they faced. Like, then there are real-life trolls who take issue with the fact that Cordova, a black Puerto Rican man, is playing an elf, and that young Galadriel doesn't appear feminine because she wears armor. And we're also going to be talking about Jeff Bezos. Not exactly what I expected to have to talk about today. Apparently, Jeff Bezos has made a statement insisting the Rings of Power isn't a cash grab, which just sounds kind of absurd because of course it's a fucking cash grab. You guys paid $9 billion for MGM. You guys paid $9 billion, okay? And you've put over $1 billion, it's rumored around $1.5 billion, into only the first season of Rings of Power. You need it to be a cash grab. You are minus $10 billion right now, guys. Of course you need it to make money. It is quite the cash grab. So those are the topics we are gonna be discussing tonight. But welcome everyone. I hope that your evening is going good. Welcome to the live stream. We will get into the topics in a minute. We're gonna start with Netflix, just because I feel like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like a lot of you guys are probably like, I also didn't know that Netflix already launched their gaming. I don't really care that Netflix launched their gaming, and it is absolutely irrelevant to me, which is kind of the way that I feel. I never really had a lot of hope in Netflix gaming, but well, they're trying it, and I do give them props for that. But, well, A for effort just kind of weird. It's kind of suspicious. 1.5 billion, but they can't hire decent writers. I've always said this and stood by this. I think that new creators should be given a chance, right? Newer, unknown actors, writers, directors, they deserve chances in the industry. But with a project as big as Rings of Power, I expected to see half of the people part of the project be big names and then half of them be rather unknown. I expected a very clear 50-50, and almost no one that is part of this project is someone who is known, except for the composer, the lead composer, because he previously worked on Lord of the Rings. Morfydd Clark has been part of like 2 series before. Again, she's not that well known. And then the actor who plays Celebrimbor. Besides those handful of people, we're talking about absolute no ones here, which is, it just sounds crazy, because you'd think that they would throw as many names at this as they could. And I get that, like, oh, it would cost more money to get really well-known actors and directors. You have spent over $1 billion, okay? There is no fucking excuse. I don't know where that $1 billion is going. And again, the rumored 1.5 billion at this point. I don't know where it went, but it clearly didn't go to this project. Like, I want to see how much these executive producers and these actors are getting paid at this point, because there is no way that you have shoved that much money into this series for it to look like such a CGI fest. And I'm not even just talking about the CGI, I'm also talking about, like, the costumes. Some of them look great, and then some of them look really odd. And again, it's just like all these unknown people. It just, to me, the Rings of Power truly does feel like a project that was thrown together. Like, they had all of these big names that they wanted, and then they just had to, like, almost pick who they could, as, like, it didn't matter at that point who they got as long as they got people. Maybe they went for all unknown people because they literally wanted them to pull a classic Hollywood and be able to boss them around and tell them, you have to do this, you have to do that. And the actors, producers, directors would basically go, yes, Daddy Bezos, I'm so grateful you've given us this opportunity. And maybe that's why they ultimately decided to basically give the middle finger to people like Mr. Jackson, but who knows?
I now identify as the first Famal dwarf.
All right, Christopher, thank you for the $10 super chat. You are the first Famal dwarf. Everybody, please put a clap in chat for Chris, who is so stunning and brave, and has come out with that very, very stunning and brave information. But thank you for the donation, Chris. I knew what you meant, but, well, you guys make fun of me for the way that I say room. I'm now going to make fun of you for every single little typo you guys make. It's only fair, right? Stunning and brave. Yeah, Amazon screwed Peter Jackson from the show, which sounds so fucking absurd. But I guess when you really think about it, it's not that absurd. Because ultimately, they didn't want to have to deal with someone who actually cared about the project. Also, that is a lot of claps in chat. Thank you guys for supporting how stunning and brave Chris is. I say room just fine. I say room just fine. There's no problem with the way that I say room, and you guys are just me. You have not paid your misogyny tax. Alright guys, so let's get into the topics. We're going to be starting off with Netflix. Now, usually when I talk about Netflix, we are talking about subscriber numbers, people not being happy with the content they're putting out, something like that. But tonight's topic is a little bit different. I was trying to find some gaming topics to chat about tonight because lately it's been very entertainment heavy. There hasn't been too many gaming topics to discuss besides just generic gaming news. But Netflix has already apparently launched their Netflix gaming category. And according to new data, it is doing absolutely terrible for them. So this is a Kotaku article. I hate Kotaku. Netflix has some great games, but nobody's playing them. Of course, classic Kotaku. Shilling, shilling, shilling. So it says, since last year, Netflix has offered its subscribers access to free video games. Now data shows that less than 1% of its users are actually playing any of these games. And while the streaming giant has announced more games coming to its service, very few of its over 200 million subscribers will likely care. Now, I feel like a giant problem with Netflix gaming is the fact that nobody knows about it. We are not talking about something where when you open up Netflix, it is bang, bang, bang in your face. Holy shit, we have video games, right? There hasn't been really a lot of information about Netflix games. They also haven't really marketed them. If you go onto Twitch, there are no advertisements for Netflix games. If you go to YouTube, have you guys seen one single advertisement for Netflix games? Of course not. That's the major problem here, or a major problem here, is that nobody is playing or talking about these games. You're not going to Twitch and you're not seeing large streamers playing Netflix games. You don't go to YouTube and you don't see streamers or content creators playing Netflix games. They're busy playing all of these other games that are on the market that, I mean, I haven't played any, but are probably better in quality. Now, a major problem that I have with Netflix games is that this is mobile only. And I don't really mobile game. I really have no interest in mobile gaming. And when I initially heard that Netflix was doing this whole gaming campaign, I just kind of went, I mean, maybe they'll come out with amazing titles. Maybe they'll prove us wrong. But nobody's playing them, which leads me to believe our initial assumptions were correct. It says, back in November, Netflix began offering games as part of its subscription service, launching with 5 initial titles: Stranger Things the Game, Stranger Things 3 the Game, Card Blast, Teeter Up, and Shooting Hoops. Of course, to me, when I read this instantly, the only thing that I care about is Stranger Things. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have any interest in playing a Stranger Things video game, because it's basically, from what we understood, it was basically just going through the TV show and the plot of the TV show, only in a cheaper, kind of lower budget video game way. I've said for a long time at this point, I don't know why they haven't started creating like legitimate Stranger Things video games. Like, they should probably put one out, like a legitimate game, not this bullshit Android iOS device title. But apparently this is a focus for them, and it's not going too well so far. It says it's since added more and now has over 25 mobile games that people can download through the Netflix application on either Android or iOS devices. Some of these games, like Into the Breach, are really good too, and all of these games contain no ads or microtransactions. Now, this to me is really great, that, you know, you can play a mobile game, which is fucking crazy to say, with no ads or microtransactions. But the problem is that you have to pay for Netflix. And we're talking about a service that continuously is going up in price. I mean, right now, the lowest paid tier for Netflix is, what, $14.99 a month? I mean, it used to be, like, at least half that price. And now Netflix, and it's crazy to say, now Netflix is, like, $15, and never mind the other tiers of Netflix. It's not like you're paying a separate subscription for maybe like $2.99 a month for these games. But even so, I just don't think that it would go well. The problem here is that, while yes, there are obviously hundreds of millions of people who pay for Netflix and like Netflix, how many of those people, first of all, would care about these mobile games? And second of all, you're not going to get anyone who is going to only pay for Netflix for these mobile games. And I get it, they're trying to throw it into the subscription price, like, oh, hey, it's just a free add-on. But the service is continuously going up in price. It's like, oh, wow, you're giving me these just very random mobile games. I just don't feel like there's enough draw there. And again, it's like, have any of you gone on the mobile Netflix application and it's popped up with, oh, hey, we have video games now? Of course not, because it's like, it's there for people to access, but you have to know that you're looking for it. And a lot of people aren't going to Netflix going, oh, hey, let me just play this Stranger Things video game I heard about, because no one's hearing about them since they're not advertising them. Also, thank you for the 10 months membership, Mr. Faye. A bunch of angry Vera emojis, but thank you for the 10 months of support. I really appreciate it. Again, it's great that they have no ads or microtransactions, but does anyone really care about these titles? Clearly not, if no one's showing up to play them. It says, as reported by CNBC via data from app analytics company Apptopia, Netflix's games have been downloaded just over 23 million times and have an average daily audience of 1.7 million. That might sound good on paper, but it's basically nothing compared to their 221 million subscribers. Yeah, if this was, you know, like any other game, people would be like, wow, that sounds pretty good. If this was like any other company, it'd be like, wow, that sounds pretty solid for numbers. But the problem, again, is that they have 221 million subscribers and they're not even breaking 2 million players a day. And these games have only been downloaded out of 25 mobile games, have only been downloaded 23 million times. That is not very good. It says what this data seems to show is that about 200 million people who have access to the library of games are currently not playing them, or maybe don't even know they exist. Again, so many people didn't even know that these games were out, or that they were adding new games already, or that they even were trying to get into gaming. It's just, for Netflix, it feels kind of bizarre. I understand that ultimately companies want to make as much money as possible, and, you know, if they can create some shitty mobile games and maybe make some money off of it, that's great for them, and that's what they're going to try to do. But who wants to play a Netflix mobile game? And we're not even talking about, like, high-quality mobile games here. They just kind of seem like typical run-of-the-mill, low-effort mobile games. I'm not trying to be mean to every group of developers who creates mobile games, because there are some decent titles out there that are on mobile that are good. Diablo Immortal is definitely the best mobile game I've ever played, chat. It's amazing, and you should all download it. But yeah, I mean, they're just crappy mobile games, and Netflix is getting hammered on them right now. It says, still, with the solid list of games that continues to grow, Netflix is struggling to get anyone to care. Apptopia's data shows that all of these games have a combined daily audience of 1.7 million. Meanwhile, there are hundreds of crappy mobile games that have that twice alone. I mean, this does in a way sound like a shill article. It is Netflix that Kotaku is talking about, so of course they're gonna try to simp for them so that they can make money, and hopefully they can get some you know, inside information or some kind of inside solid scoops, but it does sound very simpy. It says, last year, the Netflix COO Greg Peters told investors it plans to be experimental. Oh my god, never say never, try everything once, huh? And we'll try a bunch of things, explaining that the company is focused on the long-term prize of creating popular games that are connected to hit Netflix shows and movies. It sounds like a great concept, but again, they're mobile titles. It's not like I could go onto my phone's app store and buy one of these games for $2.99. It's not like I can download it for free. I have to be paying, you know, $15 a month for Netflix, and there are a lot of people who don't want to pay for Netflix every month. I mean, you've got $15 Netflix, you've got $12 Hulu, you've got, you know, $8.99 Crunchyroll, $8.99 Funimation, High Dive, you've got Shudder, you've got all HBO Max, you've got all of these subscriptions. While yes, Netflix does put out a lot of content, and there are over 200 million people who pay for Netflix, again, it's hard to make a name for yourself in something like the gaming space when there are already so many games that are basically what you've created just years later. So, yeah, guys, that's all that we really had to talk about with it. It says, remember, Netflix is currently facing a problem with keeping users. Since the beginning of the year, the streamer has lost 1.2 million subs. In response to downward trend numbers, Netflix has cut job spending and canceled shows. Yeah. Building and supporting a library of games that can compete with Game Pass or Apple Arcade isn't cheap. That is definitely sure. And it points out that Netflix had paid over $70 million to buy the studio behind a Stranger Things puzzle game. That ain't nothing, and in time when the company is looking to cut costs and compete against other streamers, it's questionable how long it will continue to finance this gaming experiment. I say they'll go for another year. I say it'll go for 2 years total. They will try to make this Netflix gaming thing work, and then they'll probably end up dropping it because it's ultimately, it doesn't sound like right now bringing people in. It's not gaining players. It's not doing anything for them. I don't think that they're going to keep it up for very long. They're going to realize, wow, this is a very competitive market. We're creating mediocre games that most people can play for free on their mobile devices. And yeah, I mean, I'll keep you guys updated. But right now, Netflix is doing terribly. New data shows that less than 1% of subscribers are playing Netflix's games. And, well, I'm not very impressed by them. So why would other people be? I mean, I'm going to be honest. I look at games and I give a lot of games the benefit, you know? I try to look at titles and go, maybe this will be good. Maybe that will be good. Maybe we should give this a chance. Netflix gaming seems like a fail. Final Fantasy 14 sub is all I pay for. Too many subs for real. There are a lot of subscriptions. Yeah, there are a lot of subscriptions. I mean, I pay a lot in subscriptions. I pay for, you know, streaming services and Game Pass and in video games like MMOs, SWTOR, Final Fantasy. I mean, it is fucking nuts. Netflix will ride the Stranger Things cash cow forever, which is funny because Stranger Things makes them a lot of money, but Stranger Things Season 4 didn't even overthrow Squid Games or Bridgerton. Like, they're banking on Stranger Things right now. Oh, they're doing this spin-off and that spin-off, and the Duffer Brothers are signed with Netflix, and they made their own studio and they signed with Netflix, and they're shoving a lot into Stranger Things, and Stranger Things isn't even beating out their top competitors. And yes, Stranger Things is way up there. I mean, the numbers for it are crazy, but it's not beating out Bridgerton, and it's not beating out Squid Game. I mean, Stranger Things is good. Stranger Things is good, but there are better things out there. That's for sure. Maybe Netflix will hire Ezra now on a discount. Hey, I don't know. I mean, I have said, you know, I don't want to monetarily support Amber Heard or Ezra Miller, but if any company puts Ezra Miller and Amber Heard in a movie together where they're in a relationship and we just get to see them fucking improv, and maybe, like, it's a show about this couple that, like, lures people into, like, an Airbnb and then murders them or something, and then one of them ends up getting murdered at the end by the other, I would pay big bucks to see that. I would sign up for a crowdfunding campaign. I would monetarily support Ezra and Amber. I'm sorry, I would. Shudder, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, doesn't matter. I will buy your subscription service for a month. I will admit it. I think that would be great. Two fucking lunatics being lunatics in a movie together. I'm sorry, that right there is entertainment. I gave up on season 3 of Stranger Things. Season 3 of Stranger Things wasn't as good as the other seasons, but I would give season 4 a chance. Vera writing the best thriller content there. Come on, guys. Seeing just 2 of these absolute maniacs on screen together, just doing whatever the fuck they feel like following a general script. I mean, we are talking about 2 very bad actors here. Okay? We're very bad actors here. Mediocre actors that are just nutso. That would be great. That is entertainment. See, Ben gets it. You see, Chris, we're coming up with some good ideas here. Alright, chat. Speaking of the individual of the hour, we are going to be talking about Ezra Miller. Let me find the discussing films tweet. Let me find it so that we can okay, here we go. Okay, chat. So this was what we heard about a couple of weeks ago. On August 11th, so about a week ago. Discussing Films put out this tweet. Warner Brothers Discovery are considering 3 scenarios for The Flash. Number 1, Ezra Miller giving an interview, explaining their erratic behavior and then doing limited press. Number 2, Ezra Miller plays no part in the film's promotion. Or number 3, they completely scrap the film. And today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, we have finally gotten our answer, okay, about Ezra Miller and Warner Brothers. They have decided to, ding, 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 go for option number 1. Only 5 days after this rumor was released. The Flash star Ezra Miller says recent controversies, the result of complex mental health issues, claims to have begun ongoing treatment. Warner Brothers has picked option 1, chat. It says after 6 months of doing their best reverse Flash impression, the Flash star Ezra Miller has finally addressed their storm of recent controversies, attributing them to complex mental health issues, and claimed to have begun ongoing treatment in order to get life back on track. Now, I have said this, like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, like I've mentioned in these other videos, it clearly seemed like Ezra Miller was suffering from some very serious mental health issues, and they needed help. I am all for people getting multiple chances and getting a chance to get help. But we are talking about a millionaire here, okay? If anyone could get help, it would be someone like Ezra Miller. Okay? There is zero excuse why Ezra Miller could not get the help if they felt they needed it. We are talking about years of controversy at this point. We are talking about tons of different situations that have sounded absolutely fucking crazy. Okay? You can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. And that's the major thing that I've said in these videos. Ezra doesn't want to be helped. Ezra has not wanted to be helped. Ezra believes that they are above the rules and that they can do whatever the fuck they want and they're gonna face zero consequences for them. And maybe now they're finally realizing, maybe I should clean up my act a little bit. Maybe Warner Brothers told them, that is it, enough is enough, put out this generic ass statement or your ass is fucking grass. And maybe that's why. Or maybe Ezra just said, you know what, my cash flow's running a little bit low. I feel like I need to play the part again as Hollywood's golden boy for a little while, just so I can get a couple more roles in films. Who knows? But right now, they've all at least decided they're going to work together still. It says, in a brief statement provided exclusively to Variety on August 15th, again, only 5 days after the rumors were coming out that they were talking about potentially scrapping the film or having Ezra do statements, the elusive actor responded to the numerous grooming accusations, arrests, and other legal complications which they've faced over the past year by explaining, having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment. I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset. What about the people you've assaulted and groomed? The DCEU star added, I am committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life, guys. Intense Crisis is going to be a very exciting DC crossover event. This to me, maybe it's just because I've given these actors one too many fucking chances. Maybe it's just because this is Ezra Miller. It just comes across as very fucking generic statement that his PR person probably put together. Okay, it's not like it's a video call where we see Ezra talking and Ezra being sad and upset and seeming genuinely remorseful. This seems like a generic ass fucking statement their PR team put together, released to Variety, said, give us some money, you can have this stupid little statement. And yeah, do I think that Ezra is going to do a magic 180? I don't think so at this point. I think that it's hard to believe Ezra at this point, that they want to change, that they feel they've done wrong things, that they're actually gonna stay in ongoing treatment, because we hear about this all the fucking time with celebrities. I have these deep-rooted issues. I've begun ongoing treatment, and now we hear that 2 weeks later they ended up backing out of the arrangement, okay? They went for a couple weeks, they gave it a shot, they feel like they're better, they don't have to do it, and then they end up doing the same exact things. And Ezra Miller, we're not talking about someone who just went on social media, made some crazy fucking statements like that KKK video that came out last year. We're not talking about that. We are talking about grooming accusations. We are talking about multiple arrests. We are talking about assault here. We are talking about very serious fucking things. So it's, again, just very hard for me to look at the statement and go, oh, gee, it sounds like they want to change their ways. It sounds like bullshit Hollywood talk. Miller's apology comes just 3 days after an alleged insider source told The Hollywood Reporter, and of course the Variety was a couple days before, that Warner Bros. Discovery was weighing 3 specific options for how to handle The Flash's release in light of the star's ongoing drama. This movie has been delayed 8 times at this goddamn point? I mean, come on. Enough is enough. 8 times? 8? Just stop already. This movie is not gonna come out, or it shouldn't come out at this point. It says these included canceling the film outright, putting Miller off of press tours, and then having them apologize. In the most recent incident in Miller's wild ride, this literally could be a comic book series. The actor was charged by Vermont State Police with felony burglary over an incident which took place earlier this year on May 1st. We should... Now listen, I'm not making fun of Ezra Miller and their mental health struggles. We should have a series, a live-action series, where it is the McDonald's crew, like the Hamburglar, and Ezra Miller plays the Hamburglar, and Ronald McDonald and Ezra and all these crazy figures are running around just as if it's fucking Gotham. Okay? We can't give Ezra the role of the Joker, obviously. That'd be too cliche, but Ezra needs some kind of weird villain role, because, I mean, this is just like a comedy. This is just, it's just too crazy. I'm sorry, I can't believe that Hollywood would continue to stand by someone like this. I mean, then again, so many people in Hollywood had stood by fucking Alec Baldwin, and we see how that's going. At approximately 5:55 p.m., the Vermont State Police was notified of a burglary complaint at a residence in Vermont. For the 5 people that are there, Ezra's one of the 5. I'm sorry, guys. The initial findings indicated that several bottles of alcohol were taken from within the residence, while the homeowners were not present, they added, as a result of an investigation that included surveillance videos and statements. Probable cause was found to charge Ezra with the offense of burglary in an unoccupied dwelling. This shit is, it's such a comedy. It is such a comedy. It says, in the only direct mention of the film made by the newly merged entity's CEO since the actor's rampage began, David Zaslav confirmed investors during the company's recent Q2 22 quarterly earnings call that we have some great DC films coming up. Black Adam, Shazam, and Flash. We're working on all of those and we're very excited about them. I just think that they should scrap it at this point. It doesn't matter if this movie comes out this year, next year, in 3 years. This movie is going to be riddled and mired and surrounded in controversy. I don't see how this film could go well at this point. I don't see how this movie could come out and people would, like, want to support it. I just couldn't say to myself, you know what, I'm going to swipe my credit card for a $20 movie ticket to see this film, especially where Ezra has been doing all of this crazy shit. Someone needs to Vince McMahon Ezra's ass. You're fired. But even Vince McMahon is canceled now. Even Vince is canceled. Jeez, what a world we live in. Well, guys, that's all that I really had to talk about with Ezra. I'm gonna take a peek at chat for a few before we move on to She-Hulk. So if you have any comments to make about Ezra, let me know. Normies are degenerate, of course they will. I think, though, with a situation like this, with Ezra and everything that's happened surrounding the Flash movie, I do think that there would be a lot of people that we'd consider normies that would decide to back out of this film. Who hasn't been canceled nowadays? True. Yeah, they got Vince. Vince was just looking for an early retirement. You're not fucking convincing me otherwise. Vince is a Trump supporter, that's why he's being canceled. No surprise there. We need Ezra emojis. I'm not doing Ezra emojis. Ezra will come to my house and bitch slap me. I'm gonna get assaulted by Ezra if I put Ezra's face on an emoji. It's not happening here, chat. It is not happening. I don't know who you
Ezra
are,
Miller donated
but stop.
$10. Why are you using profanity against me in Vermont? I said I was sorry. Sorry.
We've had an Amber Heard. We've had a Daniela Pineda. We've had a Ezra. Who else have we had? Thank you, Mr. Troll. Ezra, for the $10 donation. Much appreciated. Listen, okay, I'm allowed to shit talk New England because I'm from New England, so I can shit talk New England. Fuck Vermont. Vermont's got 5 people in it, and Ezra is one of them, causing a ruckus for the 2 other people that are there. But thank you for the $10 donation. Much appreciated. You said you were sorry. Parking the car. I'm sorry for parking the car in the wrong spot. To be fair, he has a point. He said he was sorry. True. Guys, we should stop being so harsh against Ezra Miller because Ezra has now apologized. So we should just let the past stay in the past and swipe our credit cards for their next movie. Everyone go and buy some Ezra Miller merch. You know, there really hasn't. I feel like people should be capitalizing more on this. There's not any, like, funny merch about Ezra outrunning the police. You know? I feel like that is a gold mine right there. I'm not gonna do it, because I'm not gonna get sued by Ezra. Right? Using his likeness. But, yeah. Lots the... That's it. Magical Hollywood apologies. In no other industry can you just say, listen, I'm sorry. Even if you've assaulted people and just everyone forget. There's no way. We need to hear Vera talk more in that accent. No. Ezra Miller handcuffs. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is an interesting idea. I must say, after that donation, Ezra does sound like a very natural and reliable human. Actually true, though. I'm definitely glad that Ezra came here and specifically cleared up their incidents with us. I'm glad that we've gotten a direct line of communication. And that Ezra has publicly apologized to us personally. But yeah, we're gonna be moving on to She-Hulk in a minute. How are y'all feeling about She-Hulk? Are any of you excited for She-Hulk? Are you guys feeling kind of iffy about She-Hulk? Why does this seem small? That is what she said, literally. Why does this look... You know what? We're not gonna question it. We're just gonna accept it. I'm sorry I literally started a cult. Please forgive me. That's the thing, is that if it was Ezra saying that, Ezra wouldn't even have to ask for, you know, forgiveness, because Hollywood would instantly forgive Ezra. There, he's a dude, bro. The problem is that if I don't respect someone's pronouns, then I get in trouble, right? Then my channel can be attacked. I'll respect. I am not getting my channel taken away from me for someone as fucking stupid as Ezra. Oh, Neil! I forgot about Neil! That's who I forgot about.
Not be having this problem.
Neil has donated too. I forgot about Neil as well. Thank you for the $10 donation, Neil Cuckman. Actually true though. If Netflix can get The Last of Us Part 2 onto Netflix mobile gaming, I will not play it. Thank you for the $10 donation. Much appreciated. Ezra is the cult. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how you really found a cult or start a cult. Is it like in an MMO where you need guild members? Like you need 4 group members to start a cult? Because I could do that with me and my cats. But I feel like Ezra... The headline, Ezra Miller starts a cult, is just very normal. And that's how you know that there's some fucked up shit going on in the Ezra situation. Like, I've heard worse. Like, Ezra Miller starting a cult. I don't know. What are the incentives? Like, if I was to join Ezra's cult, what would I get out of that? I'm just asking. Vera's wanted by local authorities in Canada and Germany. I'd ask why those 2 specific places, but I'm not really sure if I want to know the reason. Vera has her own cult already. Put a 1 in chat if you would join a cult if I started one. If I was to hypothetically put out like promotional material, right? Like this is gonna be a DC crossover event, and I was to start a cult. You know, there were t-shirts, hats. I could like market this shit, make some money off of it before I, you know, dodge to like my own personal island after I've made a few M's. Would you join my cult? That's not a story. That's the thing, is that when I hear Ezra Miller begins a cult, it just sounds very normal. It just sounds like, I've heard worse when it comes to Ezra. Oh, Ezra, stay out of my country, Canada. Can Ezra even get into Canada at this point? Like, with Ezra's track record, could Ezra even get into Canada? I don't know. I see a lot of ones. Glad that I'd have enough cult members. Vera should replace Kevin Feige, or whatever his name is. It's too bad that Marvel is filled with a bunch of bitches. It's too bad. I don't know. I would be down for taking over DC. Marvel, though. I don't know about Marvel. I don't know. Marvel fanboys are kind of crazy. I don't know if I'd do it. How does one become second in command in Vera's cult? You have to be the largest monetary supporter. And you also have to have good references, like Ezra Miller level references. So you have to join other cults in order to join my cult. Honestly, it sounds like a great screening system. Yeah, he went to Iceland. But that wasn't brand new. The Iceland, when he was in Iceland, that was a couple of months back, from what I had read. So, I don't know. Alright guys, next we are going to be talking about She-Hulk. On to Marvel Disney She-Hulk discussion, guys. I am not very excited for She-Hulk at this point. When it comes to most series now, I try to give them a chance. I say, you know what, I'll watch it so that I can talk about it, I can review it, I've given it a chance. But when it comes to She-Hulk, I have had absolutely zero interest. We heard that they were changing She-Hulk's backstory. They were, you know, out with the old, in with the new, out with the men, replacing men with women. Sounded very disappointing. In my opinion, She-Hulk just hasn't really interested me. But now the She-Hulk director has come out and talked about how one of her hopes for the series is making it normal to have female superheroes, forgets series' own advertising, treats Jennifer Walters' gender as a novelty. Now, when I hear, you know, female superheroes, I don't go to myself, oh man, I wish there were more female superheroes. I wish female superheroes were normalized. I do not feel that way. As a woman, okay, I feel like females are more than represented in superhero films. DC, Marvel, doesn't really matter. There are some amazing female superheroes that have their own series, and I'm not saying that the series are amazing, but there are plenty of strong, independent females that have been in these movies, in these, you know, extended universes, in these cinematic universes. And to imply that female superheroes aren't a normal thing is an absolute fucking slap in the face to the actresses, the writers, the directors, the creators of these characters and of these series. So it says, according to She-Hulk attorney at law director, one of her hopes for the upcoming Disney Plus series is that it will help make it culturally normal to have female superheroes, seemingly forgetting the fact that the show's own advertising relies heavily on drawing attention to the novelty of its protagonist's gender. Again, I have absolutely no fucking problems with the fact that this is a series about She-Hulk and it's a female-based series. My problem is the fact that this is all that Hollywood knows how to do. They go, look at us, we're trying to normalize females. Sometimes diversity, but in this case females. We're trying to normalize females. Yet all you're doing is going, look at us, we put a female in a show. Oh my god, this show is about a female. Look, female, female, female. Oh, but don't actually look at the female because then you're a sexist misogynist. And you're toxic and you're an istinophobe. It's like, make up your fucking mind. Do you want to normalize females and treat these female characters as just the norm? Or do you want to be able to prop them up on a fucking pedestal so that you can look more inclusive? I mean, make up your mind here. It says that she offered her insight into her goals for the J. Giantess solo outing after being asked by Slash Film to expand on comments she gave at the official She-Hulk press conference on August 13th. There, she spoke to her love for the character. Do you really love the character? Or do you just love the character for now because you're part of the series? Let's be honest. I remember very vividly being a little girl and seeing the cover of a She-Hulk comic in amidst this sea of male comics. Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. Comics have not had enough females in them. And just not knowing who she was or what this was, but knowing I was moved by it. I don't know, why didn't you pick up the comic then and look at it? I mean, that's kind of how life goes. If you don't know what something is, you experience it. Okay, if you don't know who this character is, and you clearly saw the book, why don't you pick it up and see what this character is about? See who this character is. That's all you can really do in life. Of course, you're not going to know what something is if you haven't seen it, but clearly you're saying that it was right there front and center for you to see. It's not like there was a locked glass, you know, half-covered case with the female books in it saying, oh, only certain people can look at this. Like, what? I was moved by it, and the idea of being large and in charge and taking control, taking up space was something, you know, that really resonated with me. I mean, that's great. You know, as a young female, as a female in general, I think it's great to have female representation. I think that it's great for little girls to have female figures in movies, TV shows, comic books that they can look up to. I think that that is fucking great. It says, well, look, I think I was speaking about being a little girl in a time where it really wasn't part of being a little girl. I mean, I don't know how old she is. I feel like maybe, yeah, okay. There was a time where, yeah, comics were looked at as a boyish thing to do, a boyish thing to enjoy, but how long has it been? It's like the people who say now, oh my god, there's a girl in gaming. Oh my god, a girl is playing games. Gaming has had women in it since forever, but okay. I always liked them, but also felt I could like them, never felt I could like them publicly, if that makes sense. I don't know. Guys, maybe it's just me. Maybe I just, you know, forged my own path in life, but I hear stuff like this and want to cringe. As a female, when I was growing up, I read comic books. I didn't give a fuck what anyone else thought. I played video games. I didn't care what anyone else thought. I worked at a comic book gaming store. I ran events and tournaments. I ran comic book days. I ran these events. I didn't care if anyone looked at me weird and went, oh my god, a girl? I mean, I was a 13-year-old playing Xbox 360. I didn't care. I just did what I wanted to do. It makes no... I get that there are people that are conscious about the way, about people judging them in society. I never cared. Like, I just did the things I wanted. If I saw a comic book I liked, I would pick it up and I would buy it and I would experience it. If there was a video game, I would just play it. I get that these more negative things happen for people. Like, I'm not saying that all of my experiences in life regarding gaming and comics and entertainment have always been super positive, but you know, it's a book. If you want to read this book, then read it. Thank you, Retro, for the $10 super chat. I'd rather watch the 90s Incredible Hulk cartoon that did She-Hulk justice, and she's voiced by Cree Summers, who really captures the character's personality and sex appeal compared to this cosplayer. I 100% agree. Thank you for the super chat. Like, again, I understand that not everyone in life has the most positive interactions or experiences, but I mean, I'm one of the prime examples of people that supposedly have had so many struggles when it comes to entertainment, right? Like, I'm a 23-year-old woman. I like video games and comic books and nerdy, you know, boyish things, apparently. You know, yeah, there's a couple of bad situations that I've gone, oh, that was a really shitty thing that happened, but they paint it as every woman who is part of this industry, or any of these industries, have had such awful times. That is, like, so not true. I don't know. And now I think that's changed, and the MCU has done such a great job of bringing female characters to the forefront. Yeah, I think that, you know, when it comes to the MCU, I do think that definitely female superheroes have been represented really well. But I'm so sick and tired of seeing these directors, showrunners, actors going, you know, our series does this, like it hasn't been going on for the past 10, 15 years. Like, are you really the first, you know, female superhero to get her own series and be represented? Fuck no. I'm so sick of hearing that, oh my god, we just want to normalize it and we're so grateful that this female got her own series. It's happened. You're not the first. You're not going to be the last. It says, so I was talking about the new generation just having it be normal to have female superheroes. It is normal to have female superheroes. It has been normal for years. It's not some crazy thing. It is normal. My dream is that they aren't called female superheroes anymore. You're the one calling them female superhero. Oh my god, you're giving me a headache. My last brain cell. You are the one specifying it's a female superhero. You are the one who was marketing this series as a female-focused series. You only have yourself to blame. I wouldn't have gone, oh my god, another female superhero series. I just would have went, oh look, it's a superhero series with She-Hulk. I mean, it's so, honestly, I hate using this word, it's so cringe. However, despite claiming it to be a key component of her creative vision for the series, this sentiment ultimately rings hollow in light of the fact that She-Hulk's own advertising, as well as its own creative team, regularly points to the novelty of her gender as the series' selling point. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, her name is literally She-Hulk. I can't wait for They Hulk to come out in a couple years, guys. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous that they're complaining about female superheroes aren't normalized and they shouldn't just be called female superhero series. It should just be superhero series, even though you're the ones who are pointing out, oh hey, this series is focused on this character's gender. So that's all I had to talk about with She-Hulk. Now we're going to talk about a few various Rings of Power things before we wrap up stream in just a bit. Quickly though, if you guys are enjoying the live stream, make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. We need a couple more likes to hit 100. If you're enjoying, check out the links in the description and the pinned comment. Become a member, donate memberships, consider donating via Streamlabs, you know, right here in YouTube, super chats, all that fun stuff. But yeah, make sure you like the stream and thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. Something Hulk. Yeah, that's what we're gonna get next. Something Hulk. The CGI is so bad, and they have gloated about, wow, look at us, we fixed the CGI. Bitch, where? They've gone on and on about, wow, we fixed the CGI, we've done so much better. It literally looks like almost the exact same. Like, if you didn't tell me, hey, listen, we fixed the CGI, I would not know that you fixed the CGI. I would go, oh, wow, CGI. It seems the exact same way that it was. It just makes them look stupid? I don't know. The CGI doesn't look any better in my opinion. The CGI does not look good. And the series doesn't seem that good. But I'm willing to give it a chance. It's all about the attention. Actually true, though. Yeah. Why are we talking about Amber Heard? Why are we talking about her? Don't bring her into this conversation. Don't bring Amber into this. We don't need to talk about her. Well, chat, I have 2 articles that I briefly wanted to reference. So, one is going to be about this recent Times article that came out. And another is going to be about Amazon's Jeff Bezos insisting the show is not a cash grab, even though it is a cash grab. So yeah, first, why don't we start with the information about the Times article. I will be making a video on this tomorrow. Predictably, the Lord of the Rings of Power executive producer calls critics racist. Now, just yesterday, I put up a video talking about the Galadriel's actress, Morfydd Clark, coming out and calling anyone criticizing Princess Disa's actress racist. She said, basically, if you don't accept the fact that this is Princess Disa, you know, you should get off of the internet and shut the fuck up, basically. And now, just a day later, we've got the Rings of Power executive producer calling critics racists. So it says, the Rings of Power executive producer, Lindsay Weber, who of course is no stranger to controversy, decided to attack the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien fans as racists. Weber made it abundantly clear the production and show would be eschewing Tolkien's work when she told Variety in February, it only felt natural to us that an adaptation of his work would reflect what the world actually looks like. Which, of course, to me, is bullshit. I don't think that, you know, the Rings of Power should represent what the world actually looks like. I think the Rings of Power should look like what Tolkien created. I think it's as simple as that. There are so many great series out there that have inclusion, diversity, that have all different types of people in them. But a lot of these actors do not fit the descriptions that Tolkien wrote about. And it should follow what he wrote about. It says, it is for everyone. His stories are about his fictional races doing their best work when they leave the isolation of their own cultures and come together. Months after making it extremely clear that the show would not be following his works, Weber is now accusing critics of racism, of course. Now, a problem that I pointed out is that they're not using any fucking examples, right? Galadriel's actress Morfydd Clark, of course Lindsay Weber, they're not showing what this racism, harassment, toxicity looks like. I previously made comments that Princess Disa, the first image we got of her, she had like golden flakes in her hair and it looked like shiny dandruff, right? Would that comment be taken by these people and called racist simply because it's a comment about the way the character played by a female of color looks? Like, would that be taken as harassment, as racist? Probably. Now, should it be? No. I was only talking about the design that they went with for her outfits and the way her character looks. But of course, that to them would probably be a racist comment. She told Time Magazine, "We're all up for criticism. We're not up for racism." Now, if Lindsay Weber had simply said, yes, you know, there are a lot of critics of the show so far. I hope that you'll watch it and give it a chance. Criticism is fine. But there have been a few racist comments we've seen on social media. I think a statement like that would be pretty fine. Because with this type of comment, we're all up for criticism, we're not up for racism, it makes it sound like they're just shoving all of these comments into the racism category. They're not painting it as, while there's a lot of criticism and that's okay, there's been a few racist comments. They make it sound like there's more racism than criticism. That anyone criticizing is racist. And it's not just Weber, of course. The showrunner J.D. Payne also told Time that criticism of Galadriel wearing armor in the inclusion of a black elf will not be tolerated. He describes critics ironically quoting Tolkien as creatures of dull and lumpish nature that had no more language than beasts. And let's be clear here, it's not racist to want characters that are described by Tolkien in a certain way to look like those characters when his stories are being adapted to television. Now, the excuse they've come up with is, well, these are new original characters that Tolkien didn't write about, therefore we can make them look any way we want. I think it is pretty fucking shitty that they've created this show and half of the main characters are new original characters. I think that you should stick to the source material. Having one or two new characters I can understand. But like half of the main characters in this are brand new original characters. All of these characters are new fucking characters here. This is the Times article. It does talk about, you know, the same things. Some fan concerns are reasonable, like the fact that the show must compress thousands of years of Middle-earth history. The problem is that they're doing, at least at this point, what, 5 seasons of this? So why the fuck are you shoving all these thousands of years into the first season? Like, we are gonna have 5 seasons of a show where there are thousands of years throughout all of them. It's not like season 1 is 1,000 years, season 2 is 1,000 years, or... I mean, that seems like a lot, don't get me wrong. But I wish it was split up more. But in the first season of the show, we know that it covers, like, the beginning and also the fucking end. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're not sure if they're going to be able to do multiple seasons. I think they are shoving the thousands of years, I believe it's 4,000 years worth of story, into the first season, and they're starting to cover it. Because I think they're talking about having 5 seasons. I think they're gonna get cut off at 3. I think that this show is not gonna make the money. I think they're gonna only be able to do 3 seasons. Also, why are we doing chills in chat? What are we chills? Why are we getting the chills? You guys so excited for Rings of Power? Surely. Of course, it talks about the Peter Jackson situation and that Amazon promised to send him the scripts and never did. Then it talks about, you know, Galadriel doesn't appear feminine because she wears armor. We're up for criticism. We're not up for racism. So, yeah. And next we're going to talk about the final topic of the evening, which again is a Rings of Power topic. Daddy Jeff Bezos made a statement about Rings of Power. Okay. Not the article I expected to see today. But, of course, Amazon's executive chairman, Jeff Bezos, argues that the decision to produce the Rings of Power was driven by more than just money. If I have ever heard bullshit, I would be hitting a bullshit buzzer, because this is the most bullshit I've ever heard. Of course, this show was driven by fucking money. You're a company that wants to make money. Amazon's Jeff Bezos recently pushed back against the idea that it is a cynical cash grab. It is a cynical cash grab. You only fucking care about money. That's the only reason you're releasing this. It says he insisted that the decision to produce the Rings of Power was motivated by more than money in an email exchange with Time. So bullshit. You're so bullshit. Middle-earth is such a beloved world, and telling the story of the forging of the Rings of Power is a privilege and a responsibility. Yeah, what the fuck are your credits on this movie, Bezos? What the fuck are your credits for this series, huh? What did you do? Writing? Did you do some directing? Did you do casting? Did you do prop work? Did you do set work? Did you do costume design? What about Tom Shippey, the Tolkien expert you fired because he was telling you that you weren't doing the show right? I mean, come on, what are your fucking credits on this show, Bezos? What are your credits, huh? I hope we do Tolkien's work justice. It goes beyond making a commercially successful show. Everyone working on the show read these stories as kids and our hearts are in it. Sure. Whatever you say, Jeffy. His remarks echo similar sentiments of the showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, who have rejected claims the series is only vaguely connected to Tolkien's original novels. This to me is just such a fucking clown world. You've got one person saying it follows the source material. You've got other people saying it's only vaguely connected. You've got some people saying, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. We went in our own direction. You've got some people saying we didn't do anything different than what we would think Tolkien would want. I mean, keep your story straight here. It says, McKay recently described the Rings of Power as being deeply rooted in established Middle-earth canon and made it clear that he and Payne took the role of stewarding his story very seriously. Whatever you say. We don't feel vaguely connected. We feel deeply, deeply connected. Balls deep connected? Or just like you have a couple $100,000 in your bank account deep? Can you explain a little bit more? And we work every day to even be closer connected. This is sounding like it's not a you, it's a me situation, you know? The sense of connection included instances where Rings of Power expanded on existing lore. According to the executive producer, who also directed the Rings of Power's first episode, discussed how important it was to the show's creative team that they always stay true to the spirit of his books in a recent interview. Yeah? You wanna stay close to the source material and you wanna stay true to the spirit? Then why the fuck are half of the main characters not even characters Tolkien ever wrote? How about you answer that? How about you answer that? I will pick up your P.O. Box mail. I don't have a P.O. Box, so I can't pick up mail for a P.O. Box that doesn't exist. We always felt that it was rule number 1 that there needed to be true optimism and love even in the darkest, scariest moments of the show. Okay. Sure, whatever you say. They also revealed that Rings of Power almost had an even stronger tie to another famous Middle-earth adaptation, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Then why the fuck didn't you bring Peter Jackson in himself? The executive producer recalled early plans to include some kind of a bridge between the series and the films that were ultimately abandoned once it developed its own identity. That's the problem. You're making a show and creating your own identity for it, yet at the same fucking time you're trying to say that you're just following the source material. So is it something you've created and it has its own identity, or are you actually following the identity it should have, which should just be following the source material? These people are so confusing. It's so annoying to hear them constantly blabber, 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 because they continue to contradict themselves. It is absolutely mind-blowing to see this constantly happening. I mean, this has happened over and over at this point. So guys, that's all that I really had to discuss in this live stream. We talked about a bunch of Rings of Power topics: She-Hulk, The Flash, Ezra Miller, Netflix gaming. If you guys have any questions for me or any other topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. I won't be wrapping up stream for like another 5 or 10 minutes, so yeah, if you have any questions, any topics you want me to discuss, feel free to leave them in chat. But thank you for being here. If you're enjoying the stream and the content, make sure to give it a like, check out links in the description, follow me on social media, join our Discord, donate, become a member, all that fun stuff. Also, guys, I will not be doing the supporter stream tomorrow, but next week. Next Wednesday, I will be doing the next supporter stream. At this point, I don't think the writers could tell you which character is based on his writing, even at gunpoint. Actually true, though. Actually fucking true. I have a feeling that Disa is going to provide a lot of material for YouTubers. I mean, look at how many videos I made on Rings of Power. There's just been so much to talk about, and I'm so upset about this whole fucking situation. And the media is so trash. The media is trying to defend the characters like Disa because, of course, it's a woman of color playing her, so they want to defend her so they're not seen as ists and phobes. They tried to say that, oh, Disa actually has a beard, and she actually has an accurate female dwarf description, and the haters are only just not looking at it. I've showed in multiple videos where you literally see her full chin and there's no beard anywhere. I get it that there would be people that would laugh at the female dwarf having a beard, like, couldn't you just, like, make her more feminine? I get that there would be people that would be like, it looks so bad, she looks like a man. But that's the whole point of the source material. She's supposed to. She's supposed to look very similar to the males. I don't know. I don't know. It's just so stupid. I don't have the mental capacity to hear about this shit anymore, and all the stuff they're messing up, all the characters they're tearing apart, all the material they're not following. So annoying to hear about these people talking shit, but they don't, it's like they don't even know what they're talking about. Dwarven women have beards though, right? And they should give her a beard. She should have one because that's the way that it should be, following the source material. But of course they're not doing that. Right, and it's not like there are no darker skinned races or beings in Tolkien's work. It's just not these characters that they're going with. And again, in a lot of these cases, they're just creating new characters so they can go, well, it's not actually an established character, so we can make them look however we want. Just follow the goddamn source material. It's really not that hard. Or it shouldn't be that hard. Oh, chat! No! 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 Superman and Lois is a good show. Man, and now one of the main characters is getting fucking recast? Oh my god, I hate the entertainment industry. Why couldn't you just pay him enough to stay on the show? This show is one of the good ones. You couldn't even pay an actor enough to keep him around? I'm sure he's not asking for $1 million. Couldn't you just give him some extra money to keep him on this show? Man, so stupid. And Superman's son. Superman and Lois is a great show. And they couldn't pay the actor enough to keep him around. Come on, you're gonna recast him? So stupid. CW's trash. This is actually one of the good shows, though. She was asked to cut She-Hulk scenes and have more scenes of her as Jennifer to save on money for visual effects. That is cringe-worthy. That is actually terrible. That is actually terrible. It's a show about She-Hulk, but you couldn't pay to have She-Hulk in your show. That is pretty weird. Pretty weird. Well, chat, with that being said, I am going to be wrapping up the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed the discussions tonight, the topics we chatted about: Netflix, Ezra, She-Hulk, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Like I said, I will not be doing the supporter stream tomorrow night, but next week I will be doing the next supporter stream. Next stream this week will be on Thursday, and then of course Saturday and Sunday. We'll be playing some video games. This weekend we'll be starting a new game. I think on Thursday we're going to play one more stream of Super Bullet Break, and then over the weekend we're going to be starting a new game. I will let you guys know. But yeah, check out links in the description. Follow me on social media: Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey, Getter. Join our Discord server. We're very active there. I do tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams. Make sure to check out the past few days worth of videos. Also check out the links, support, become a Patreon, become a member via memberships. You get access to the supporter streams, special emotes, you get a special role in Discord, and you also get access to a special Discord channel. But yeah, Make sure to give the stream a like on the way out. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight, and have a fantastic evening, everyone.